In today's live stream video, we're going to discuss shipping and more for e-commerce sellers. My guests will share their tips and strategies to help make us more successful and profitable resellers. Every Wednesday, I have a live stream, and I usually interview another reseller, and I have them share their tips, tricks, and techniques to help make us more knowledgeable and profitable resellers. If you're interested in reselling, then you are in the right place. I'm going to pop in the chat, say hello to a few people, and we shall get started very shortly. Let me see who's in the chat. I know my guests are here. Lisa C, always good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. And I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions during the show too about some reselling related stuff, not basically related to what we're talking about right now, but a couple reselling questions. So I figured I would ask Lisa, ask you one of the questions. So anyway, I'm sure the chat will be filling in very shortly. So let me bring in my two very experienced resellers and have them share their expertise. Let me bring in Randy. Randy, it looks like Randy is standing up, so maybe I'll bring in Mike first.
Randy's standing up.
Randy's standing up, or he's frozen, one or the other. Let me bring him in as well. What are you doing there, sir?
Reseller.
You're doing what?
I said, I'm Randy, the headless reseller.
Oh, you're the headless reseller.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Well, I flipped the coin. Randy, you go first. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people that don't know you?
I'm Randy, and I do have a head.
Okay, a little bit more detail, sir.
That's great. Good stuff right there.
We're off to a good start there. It's going to be a comedy show, guys. Tell us about your reselling business. Tell us about your wholesale business. Tell us a little bit about
I sell a lot of crap every day. No, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm getting old. What can I tell you?
Oh, that I do say all the time. Father Time is undefeated.
But I enjoy it.
You enjoy it. You've been doing it since back in the early days, even before eBay. So you were telling me you did it back in the day where Amazon failed.
Yeah.
And then right. Then that's
Amazon made one big mistake back then. They tried to be eBay. Now, if eBay could only figure out that that's a mistake by trying to be Amazon.
That's a big mistake. Absolutely.
Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else.
Be the best.
You're better at it being yourself than somebody else anyway.
That applies to reselling too. Be the best that you could be. Applies to anything, actually, right?
You know what? If you try to sell what I sell, you'll fail. If I try to sell what you sell, I'll fail. You know what? I don't know anything about golf clubs. I really don't care about golf clubs. So if I try to sell them, I'm not going to do very well. Mike's the golf club guy.
A handsome guy with up in the top corner there. He knows all about golf clubs.
I know a little bit about golf clubs.
And you have opportunity because you're in God's waiting room. You get lots of golf clubs.
Well, I do have opportunity to grab them, that's for sure. But honestly, they've slowed down terribly. I've never gone through such a long stint of no golf club sales.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, my inventory is dwindled down. I mean, I still have a few hickory sticks to sell, and I have some good clubs in stock right now that are not moving, which is surprising because that's normally not something I'm used to. And it's year round, basically, that little niche right there. So it is what it is. I can't force it. I can give them away, I'm sure of that. But
yeah.
Besides doing that, just sit back and wait, and they'll sell.
Just as an aside, out of curiosity, why do you think that is? Do you think it's the economy? I mean, people that have golf usually have money, right? It's not like the economy is a big issue.
Me personally, I think it's more of it's going to be a tight year. I think for most people.
Okay.
I think overall sales will be probably down a little bit from last year.
Okay.
Definitely from 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, because the pandemic, everybody was just ordering everything delivered to their home. Yeah.
Down trend. I don't know overall. That's why I've kind of transitioned my business and moved into something that consistently sells more than trying to find those one-offs and home runs every time. So you know, as you grow and you learn different things, you try different things and hope that you're smart enough to stay on that plane without wandering too far off, you know. And if you can concentrate on those sections, you should do very well.
Right. I want to get to that a little bit later about, kind of like the niches that you guys are in. I mean, I know just to touch on it briefly, Randy does a lot of, wholesale. He does, he knows about spices and coffees and teas and old fashioned candies. And he also does some thrifting. He's buying some liquidation. Mike, I know you do a lot. You used to do a lot more estate sales. Now you're I guess you're concentrating more now on replenishables as well as a little bit of estate sales and mixing it up a little bit. But back in the day, you were like probably 90% estate sales, I would say.
Yeah, it was like 90, 80, that and garage sales were
garage sales, right.
And then as you meet different people in the community, depending on whether or not, like Randy was saying, it's hard to follow exactly what they're doing. But if you could take tidbits of their knowledge of what they're in and then kind of apply it to what you're doing, again, if you work at it enough, and I'm part-time, so it's hard for me, I mean, I'm at work 8 hours a day, and when I come home, I run the business, and the business is transformed to where it's a lot of Walmart now. So I got boxes that I came home and I packed up and are ready to ship out. It's a whole different game. It's just a different mindset, really, is what you have to turn around. Because I love buying something for $5 and sell it for $100. You know what I'm saying? That's the great part of it, right? But in reality, I'd rather buy something that ships to me or jump in my car and go to a warehouse knowing I'm going to get a certain amount of things and sell 100 of those than trying to find that 5 into 100 every weekend at a garage sale or estate sale.
Well, you were mentioning, and guys, just a shameless plug, which because Mike's a good friend of mine and a friend of the show, and also a friend of Randy's, and we kind of interconnected the three of us together, and we're helping each other out. Mike has his Horse Damn Reselling Show, period, on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. So you had mentioned on your show that you had an item, some kind of replan that you're doing. Obviously, I don't want you to tell what the replan is, but that's something. Are you sourcing that from a wholesaler? Or are you sourcing that retail arbitrage? But you said you had 300 items in stock, and you blew right through that inventory.
Right now, I wanted to talk to Randy about this one because I came up with a new idea today.
You with a new idea? Go figure.
Right now, I do a lot of online arbitrage. I have a few distributors I deal with online. I order directly from them. It's certain places I've talked about on my show, so it's not a secret. Amazon's a big sourcing place for me because Amazon, if you can buy from Amazon, it's usually cheaper than even the distributor sometimes, and that was the case this weekend. So I bought a whole bunch from them.
Yeah, you told me you kind of bought out the inventory they had, and then
right. So I buy from them, and then in certain instances, if I can buy enough, buy them out. I've actually turned around and sold it back on Amazon for 4 times what I paid for it.
Wow.
So it works out pretty well. You just have to know I don't know what the right word is. Once you get a grasp of a certain area and you can perfect that area, that's where I'm real comfortable with what I'm doing right now. I mean, real comfortable. I feel confident if I go out and buy 500 of something that I will sell through that 500 in no time and be ready to restock another 500 of those. And I know I can go out and restock them for the most part.
And you only had to make one ad.
Correct. It's one, and it's basically throw them in a box, put a couple labels on them, and let Walmart handle the rest of the transaction. So that has been a big eye-opener for me. The light bulb went on. It's okay, I can do this, still be as successful, if not more successful, doing it this way than doing that grind of thrift stores and estate sales. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't work for me being part-time. I don't have time to do all that. This is so much simpler for me. I know I'm going to get stuff. I know what it sells for, and I know what it costs for Walmart to fulfill it. Those numbers all run through my head as I'm buying items. I could pretty much get a feel for how much my profit's going to be per item. just by the cost of the item and the weight. Once I know those two factors, I can figure out how much I want to make on it.
Right. So like they say, this kind of road, it's like second nature to you now. When you automatically know, okay, this will work out well for what I'm trying to do.
And Randy's been a great help to me as far as, narrowing this down and really getting into the groove of how to consistently source, keep your inventory rolling. Pricing was a problem for me in the beginning. He helped me do that, and we've discussed different ways of lowering the percentage of the commission that Walmart takes, or having a price point where the customer, let's say I'm at one price point, but maybe going up one notch on that price point now saves the customer the $5.99 shipping. So actually it's cheaper for me to be $1 more expensive.
Because the customer is getting free shipping.
I get free shipping. So knowing all that increases your profit level, obviously, but it also increases sales because people love that free shipping part. So at that
Amazon
point,
created that monster
break point, because on Walmart it's $35, right? Over $35 is free shipping. So if you have an item sitting at $34.99, they're paying $41 for that item.
Now that's $35 with the Walmart. I don't know what they call the membership, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
Walmart Plus, right?
So, and that's only what, $49.99 a year or something like that. $44.99.
Was that what it was? I thought it was closer to $100. Okay.
No, I think that's Amazon Prime, right? Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime is like $120 or $130 now. They went up.
My wife handles all that.
Yeah, it's going up to 135.
135.
135.
Yeah.
So,
well, I got something delivered today. I'm getting something delivered in 2 days. I mean, not that I buy a lot, but I mean, hey, you need stuff, you need it. I mean, and I mention all the time, I share my personal experiences, business and personal, and I subscribe to all these different like newsletters, so sometimes I can do retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, or sometimes I'm buying things for myself, like K-Cups. They had K-Cups on sale. It's like, okay, why I buy a K-Cup, a decent K-Cup for 27 cents a K-Cup buy. To me, I'm trying to be under that 30-cent mark. And not that it's anything fancy, it's McDonald's, but I mean, McDonald's K-Cups, I've had them before. They're not bad. They're made by Starbucks, decent quality. So I got that delivered, and then I got something being delivered tomorrow. I don't even know what it was. Oh, I know, it was pillows. I needed pillows. It's like I can get memory foam pillows for $14 for a pillow. That's ridiculous at today's prices. I can't go to Ross or Burlington Coat Factory and pay less than $25, $30 for a pillow.
How much memory those pillows really have?
I need more memory, Randy. The older I get, my memory has been failing me, so I need a lot of memory. I don't know how much memory they have.
I'll tell you a little story, and I think then I'll explain how it basically can affect you. I had a friend whose name was Dr. Julius R. Manti. Dr. Manti was he was 97 when him and I became friends, and I was, I think, probably 30 years old. So he was a lot older than me. Dr. Manti was a world-renowned grammarian. Okay, now a grammarian is one step above a scholar. Okay, he wrote the book that every college uses to teach the Greek language. And even at 97, he had a person he was mentoring. And that guy was 60 years old. His name was Randolph Yeager, Dr. Randolph Yeager, who is probably one of the world's most knowledgeable people on the Greek language. Okay. But, we're never too old to learn something. And it would be good if you look at starting a business to come over and say, you know what? Can I work here for a year as, for nothing?
Yeah, back in the day when interns were unpaid, right? That's
right.
What they learned, they were taught for free, and now they want to be paid to learn.
As basically, as an intern,
unpaid intern. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to learn about a certain industry, so I actually went out and got a job at that industry, and I stayed there for about 6 months, just so I could learn how to do that particular job, because it was something that I was interested in doing myself. I didn't tell them that's why I was there.
No.
But nonetheless, and the other thing is, you know what? Learn to give. I have people who I helped in business that do the same thing that I do. Okay. Some of them are Fortune 500 companies now. But I also know that if I ever need something, I can go to them and say, hey, can you do this for me? I usually don't, because they really don't ever want to charge me to do anything. And I don't feel comfortable with that. But nonetheless, what you give out is what you're going to get. So let's talk about some shipping.
Okay, let's get into shipping. Just going to touch this guys a little bit, and then I'm just going to do like a preview, so to speak, of the shipping. Then I want to ask Mike and Randy about how they handle their shipping. But I was kind of brainstorming about different shows to do, and it's a good time to remind you folks. I'm always looking for other resellers to join me, and while I'm thinking about it, make sure you smash that thumbs up, because I always forget to ask you guys to do that. That helps the video as well. So anyway, I was kind of brainstorming about things to talk about, and I was talking about doing some RA, and I got something shipped through me on RA. A shoe box, pair of slippers, and I got it shipped to my house, including the product, for $9. So I'm thinking, I can't ship this for under $7 or $8. Me personally, just ship it. Shipping alone, I'm getting the product plus shipping, and they shipped it at UPS. I said, okay, that's interesting. So then I got something else the other day, and it's like, again, it was Adidas slides. I purchased them for myself, like $8 or $7.80. Got the slides and I got shipping, and it was like $7.80. It's like, how do they ship this to me for under $8, including the cost of the product? Granted, that's Adidas, and I went online, I actually ordered it through eBay, and they had sold 7,000 pair. But I mean, how are they doing that? So for that would be something we talk about. And like I said, guys, that Randy and Mike are both very, very experienced resellers. So I figure we'll talk about a few topics, and we'll open it up to some Q&A, so to speak, if you guys have any questions for Randy and Mike, and we'll play it by ear. We're going to try to keep it a little bit shorter today. So if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat, and we'll get to them. So just going to do my little preview about shipping and talk about that a little bit. So I tell you guys, I follow a lot of the reselling newsletters and some of the reselling groups, and one of the topics that came up was online sellers are asking, since USPS will be discontinuing their regional boxes, they would like to know if they will continue with those size boxes, even if they do not have regional pricing. They're referring to a recent e-commerce blog news article about rates going up in January for U.S. Postal Service competitive services, which confirmed reporting from September that the USPS was planning to eliminate the priority mail regional rate in January. USPS describes PM regional rate boxes, which are zone-based, not flat rate, on its website. Paste those images along with the box's dimensions. It was just a year ago that the USPS went to the trouble of reducing the dimensions of these priority mail regional rate boxes. I'm sure you folks remember that they actually reduced the size of the boxes. So it's like now they're discontinuing those boxes. So anyway, there was inquiries to the USPS to find out if they plan to offer the same size boxes for shippers for priority mail shipments. They've also been asked if sellers could continue to use these boxes after the January 22nd of 2023 date for regular priority mail shipments until they run out of stock. The USPS has not responded to this question yet. I want to make you guys aware of it. I'm sure most of you are, but I do have some newer sellers in the chat and watching the video. I want you to keep in mind that there have been several price increases in shipping rates on USPS, as well as increases on USPS and FedEx. And remember, on sites such as eBay, you pay commission on shipping, i.e. you pay on the final value fees. So in addition to the cost to purchase the labels going up, you're also paying more in commissions to sites such as eBay. So like I said, guys, that's just like the basic, in a nutshell, what I wanted to talk about. So I figured I would have Mike and Randy discuss that. I want to ask them, some of the various sites they're using for shipping, how they use USPS, UPS, FedEx, etc. Randy and I have already talked offline about this, and his situation is a little bit different. He can explain it to you, but basically Randy is doing such high volume, and he's concerned about late shipments that he's using the FedEx as an alternative. But I want to see what you guys are using and how you find those different services such as UPS and FedEx for shipping. Who wants to go first? Randy?
Yeah, I'll go first. Basically, it's going to happen January 22nd. Okay. You can use the boxes for regular priority rate, and they're going to keep making them available until they run out. You know, it's not a popular box size for most people. Most people can't even get those boxes. Okay. And realize that there are 96 other boxes that USPS makes available to their higher volume sellers. So it's just not what you see online. All right. And those are all primarily priority boxes. So they had a C box. It was A, B, and C, and they discontinued the C box regional rate.
And now they've done away with the A and the B.
Right. It's not very popular, so I don't think the volume really justified the savings in the cost, because I think most people really don't know how to use them. I mean, I found them pretty much a wealth and saved me quite a bit of money. But the average person who doesn't do a whole lot of shipping may find them to be useless. Right, Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy says he only uses UPS. He's not real happy with FedEx. He says they're contractors, not employees. If they don't want to deliver something, they don't deliver it. I wasn't aware of that. I guess obviously Mike and Randy, you were aware of that.
FedEx Ground is a contract. Used to be Roadway Express. Okay, and Roadway fouled it up so bad that they wanted to compete with UPS. That FedEx went and bought it out for cheap. But the employees of FedEx Express work for FedEx.
But the what about the regular FedEx employees? Are they contractors, subcontractors?
Yeah, they're all subcontractors for FedEx Ground.
I wasn't aware of that. Thank you, Tommy, and thank you, Randy. I was not aware of that.
Yeah. So the different rates, and you have different people. For instance, they screwed some of my invoices up, and those things that I ship out for $9, they billed me $90.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
They just put a nice $2,000 back in my bank account for overcharging me. So, it was rather upsetting, but nonetheless, we took care of it. But all these guys have completely different rates depending on who you are and depending on who your sales rep is.
Right.
I have 2 sales reps from FedEx, and I have one from USPS and one from UPS. I have one from TNT, and I have one from DHL. You need to get a sales rep if you want to get better rates, because otherwise you're going to get rates that are right over the counter. You're going to get the highest rates. You're not going to get any break, and you don't have to be an extremely large seller to get a break. Any break is good. To save money, you're just going to save money. I want my products to get there, because you know what? The faster your products get there, the more likely your customer is going to buy from you again. If it takes you 2 weeks because you want to save $2 to get your package there, and mine comes in 2 days, who are you going to buy from again? Even if my item's more expensive than yours, you see that with Amazon. Yeah. Amazon generally is more expensive. Why will people buy from there? Because they get it in a day or two. Except for Mike, they want to make him wait a week or 2.
Well, they get quote unquote free shipping.
3 weeks. I got a shipment today from them. I was telling Randy about it. I ordered 40 of something, and 31 came in 2 boxes. So 16 and
right,
15, whatever the number works out to be. And then the other 9 came individually through USPS. So I don't know what the heck they were doing. It was close to 3 weeks in time to get it from the time I ordered it till I got it. So I have no clue. Well, I was just about to look yesterday on Amazon to see what was going on with my order, and I got an email saying that my delivery was set for between 8 and 10 last night. Well, it didn't come until today. But yeah, that was a crazy shipment. I've never seen something like that before. It was coming from every direction, and it all came here on the same day too, which is really odd. I mean, that's
All right.
kind of like if you had a box, let's say, and it could fit it all in one box, and it gets held up, then it gets
Can
held up.
understand that. Yeah.
But you have 1, 2, and then 9, so you have 11 packages that you send out to one person, and they all get there on the same day using different carriers. It's kind of oddball to me. But we got the item finally, so that's all that really matters, I guess.
One thing that I use, and this is for consumers as well as resellers, and I found it useful. And in the advent of porch pirates, I don't have a porch, but I have a step or stoop, whatever you want to call it. I call it stoop in New York, Mike, but I call it a step down here. But anyway, get the apps, guys. Get the UPS app, get the FedEx app, so you can track your packages, and it'll tell you if it's been delayed. You can get text messages, you get emails, you get both. Sometimes I'm getting something, maybe I'm getting something shipped electronics I'm using for YouTube. It's, several $100. It's like, and it's on my porch, and I'm out sourcing, or I'm at a doctor's appointment, or out wherever. And it's like, I got to get home because I don't want $300 items sitting on my porch, or it's raining that day, or then you can also defer it and maybe ship it to one of the, regional pickup centers, so to speak. You have a Walgreens or whatever, you can do a pickup there. So I found the apps very useful. So when they work anyway, I find it useful.
Well, Adam, sometimes you have to be smart and think outside of the box. For instance, I think it was Michelle that I sent some burlap bags to.
Yes.
And when I packed them up, I saw, wow, these actually cost too much money.
Michelle's leaving. You must have scared her with those burlap bags, Randy.
And so what I did was I wrapped a book in those burlap bags and sent it out media mail. Saved me quite a bit of money.
You slickster, you.
Hey, it was done in.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
Hey, I sent the book. It was book rate.
Yeah. Now, like I said, your situation is a little bit different than a typical reseller, Randy. And then Tommy says he's shipping out. I think he said like 90-some% UPS. But you're using FedEx too, right?
Yeah.
What's your situation? But you're using, I think you told me majority FedEx, right?
Right.
Is that because the area that you haven't had issues with FedEx, or?
I don't use FedEx Ground as much.
You don't use FedEx Ground as much.
I would say that I send out maybe 5 packages a day FedEx Ground.
Okay.
Where I may send 300 or 400 out FedEx Express.
FedEx Express.
I have a contract, so my prices are quite a bit lower than normal FedEx Express.
Typical consumer, right?
And it gets anywhere in the country in 2 days. We'll put that in quotes because it really doesn't. Not 100%.
So you can ship something out with FedEx Express that's probably comparable as far as pricing with UPS, and probably less money than USPS.
Well, let me say this. USPS has gotten better this year than they were last year. Okay. Even though they promised to slow up the mail, right, they've really become a little bit more efficient at it. And the 2 worst post offices in the country are Lehigh Valley and Philadelphia.
In your region, yep.
Okay. They're continually being investigated for theft and all kinds of things. 2 years ago, they delivered in one quarter 600 million packages late.
600 million.
600 million in one quarter.
In a quarter.
In a quarter, not in a year, in a quarter. Right. Okay. And I'm not talking one day late. For instance, if you have to send a funeral urn, the only way you can mail a funeral urn is by next day air USPS. You can't send it FedEx. You can't send it UPS legally. All right. Somebody's relative died in Florida and they had it shipped up here via USPS next day air. It took 32 days to get it.
32 days.
From Florida to Allentown. And that's next day air. Okay, that
Next
was
day here, so I had to get delayed by 31 days.
yeah, that was 2 years ago. So that they have gotten better. I noticed. Of course, there's been some major personnel changes up in my area. Uh, Philadelphia is still a real problem, and so is the Lehigh Valley. But uh, I I travel a bit. So, for instance, on a Friday when I travel outside the area, I take the mail with me and mail it so that it doesn't go through Lehigh Valley, and it
Okay,
gets there.
and ship it at a different area. Okay.
Right, it gets there quicker. And I ship it from a podunk little town with maybe 35 people. So it's not like it's a big major post office, but I know that it doesn't go through the Lehigh Valley.
I had a problem once. I'm going back several years ago, when it was before the pandemic. I had one package. I had a doctor's appointment. I was like, I'm like half a mile away. It's like, I'll drop it off this regional. It wasn't even a regional post. It was a regular post office. And I stood in line, and the woman yelled at me. She says, "You can drop it in the bin over there." I said, "I need a receipt, ma'am." Well, you have to wait in line. I get in line. She goes, "Well, this is not our post office. This is your home post office." I said, "It doesn't matter." I said, "Priority mail." "Oh, yes, it does." I said, "I'll tell you what. Get your postmaster general, and I want to talk to him about that." So she accepted. But it's like one package, and she's arguing with me. But
actually, it's not even legal for her to refuse it.
Right. Well, tell the or people that are watching the show what you told me about the difference between what they pay at the post office and what they pay at a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, the starting wage at McDonald's is higher than the U.S. Post Office.
It's not insane. Now, granted, they have benefits, but I mean, I guess
That's pretty much a shame.
Yeah. And again,
but,
you pay for it sometimes.
You know what? No matter what, you still have to do what works for you. Mike uses one way of shipping his stuff. I use a different way. Okay, it works. Our way works for each of us. Okay, yeah. I do not use eBay for shipping.
Right, you're not using the eBay shipping anymore, right? You're using stamps.com.
Well, yeah,
or ShipUp.
Actually,
well, they're all by ShipStation, but it's owned by stamps.com, correct?
Which is owned by Indicia.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much. They have. Go ahead.
I ship all my stuff Shopify, except for overseas, which I use Pirate Ship for. So, and we were talking about the other day. I think last time I looked on Amazon, a padded flat rate was $9.30 to ship out. eBay and like Shopify is still $8.30. So I don't know why Amazon put it up $1, which is kind of weird for them. Usually they're right in the ballpark with everybody else. But that was last week when I looked at that. So I moved it over to Shopify and shipped it from there. And I mean, for me right now, I have the Walmart rates for FedEx, so they're actually better that way. I told Randy about it, but his rates are actually better than those. So
right.
But they're pretty good as far as I'm concerned. So I use FedEx a lot. I talked to another person. They said that they had trouble trying to get a refund from UPS. They demanded all kinds of crazy pictures and stuff like that. And honestly, FedEx, you put a claim in and usually have a check in the mail 10 days later. So
really, and they don't argue with you? Okay.
So FedEx is probably in overall the easiest one if you have any issues with your shipments to get your money back on.
Yeah, I know. When I was working, I told you guys I share my personal experiences. When I was in the wholesale wine and liquor, then I went back into retail trying to get into management. That's another story. But anyway, we did a lot of shipping. We shipped a lot of wines out, and I believe they used. Pretty sure it was FedEx. I don't think it was UPS. I know it wasn't USPS to ship wine out. And the claim process was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they brought in like the regional manager and then the district manager, and they're fighting them over like one case of wine. And this retailer shipping out thousands of dollars of product every day, and they're arguing over one box. I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, Randy, you were saying that one of the things that as like an average reseller we can take advantage of is the cubic shipping rate, the priority cubic mail shipping rate. Do you want to get into that a little bit? And I'm actually going to do a share screen on that while you're talking about that.
Yeah, it's much cheaper to ship an 8x8x8 box than a 9x9x9 box. by several dollars. And you can, if you get a rep, you can actually get better cubic rates than you can through every platform. Okay. They will not give you the same rates as they have to when you have a contract with USPS. So, and without a rep, you're never going to get it. And like I said, you don't have to be a big shipper to get a rep that represents you from the post office. There's one in every single area. I mean, I don't know who they are from your area. I know who they are from my area.
Right.
I have their cell phones. I have 4 different reps that I can contact, and each one is higher than the other. So if I need something, I'm going to get it.
Right. And I actually took this off of Pirate Ship. And what I do is I compare rates between eBay and Pirate Ship. Typically, I use Pirate Ship. The only reason I do that because I get back, 1.5% back because I'm using a cashback credit card. But it's typically pretty close. But it says on this Pirate Ship, this is I downloaded this file. But anyway, it says the best deal for shipping small packages that weigh more than 1 pound with 1 to 3 day delivery and $100 insurance included. And that's the cubic shipping, the priority base. It says rates are only based on dimensions, not weight. So you can ship up to 20 pounds for no extra cost. And it says down here they have the calculator, but basically you can ship up to 20 pounds. And like Randy, you were saying, it's an 8x8 by 8 is the ideal shipping size. So you save quite a bit doing that. And if you aren't taking advantage of that, it's something that you definitely want to take advantage of. Is taking advantage of this cubic shipping, especially. I mean, you're talking 8x8 by 8, but if you can save a lot of money, guys, doing that. I mean, if you have something that weighs heavy and it's not too large. Mike, do you do a lot with cubic shipping? Can you hear Mike, Randy?
No.
No, that's my fault.
Okay, you're back.
I muted because I was making noise while you were talking. Sorry.
Okay, that's right.
I have a ton of 8x8 by 8 boxes because I have items that fit perfectly in them. So I do a lot of do a lot of okay. cubic shipping.
Okay.
So,
I can fit 12 pair of leggings in an 8x8 by 8 box.
Well, it's also a bonus of Shopify because they do offer a cubic shipping.
Shopify lets you offer the cubic shipping as well.
So that works out well.
Yeah, I didn't read what they actually said in Pirate Ship. It says the USPS does not offer priority cubic shipping. Yeah, they do. They just don't tell you about it. They offer it, obviously. You can
on Amazon. Amazon has it also. Cubic rate.
They have a cubic rate as well through Amazon.
eBay, no.
Pardon
me? eBay does not.
eBay does not. No, I use Pirate Ship. Yep.
Yeah. eBay doesn't want to. The profit
making too much money, like I said, the margins on the other shipping, right?
Yeah, the profit margins on the cubic rate is less than regular priority.
Right. So let's just say that I don't even know what the current padded flight rate envelope is now with all the price increases and the regional and the holiday prices. But let's just say it's $9. Maybe eBay is paying like $7.50, and they're charging you $9.
Well, yeah, eBay lets you refund a label for 3 days. Okay, ShipStation lets you do it for 30 days. USPS, if you have an account there, lets you do it for 60 days.
So that's a huge difference.
So, yeah. The thing of it is, okay, let's say you're shipping out something and you print an A box, okay, a regional rate A box, and it doesn't fit in there. Okay, so you maybe want to go to a B box or a medium flat rate. Okay, if you cancel that label, even if you get a refund, it takes you 14 days to get the refund. So now you got to put out the money for an A box and a B box.
Right.
Well, I don't do that. If I print an A box and it goes in a B box, the A box label goes on the B box.
Okay.
Because USPS will bill you back anyway.
Okay.
So I don't want to wait 2 weeks.
I hear you.
I'll wait a week and let them bill me, and they take it out of my account.
Right. Well, that's kind of a workaround that you figured out.
Right. But if I print a label and I send an order over to my warehouse, and they get a confirmation that they don't have that item, but it's coming in. Okay. And since the pandemic, you can have all the confirmations you like. I've gotten 10 confirmations in 10 weeks in a row, and I still don't have the item. All right. Promises are promises, but a lot of times they're not. Okay. So if I wait 3 days, I can't get a refund.
Right.
If I ship through eBay.
Mm-hmm.
I got a whole month to do it if I do it through ShipStation.
It's through ShipStation, and it's still, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Absolutely not. I'm sorry.
No matter how you do it, you really got to keep on top of all the different rates and all the different avenues for you to ship. I don't care if you're a large shipper or a small shipper. I'm sure Mike spends a whole lot of time figuring out, okay, well, this is better right now, but they up their prices next week and they added $1 to anything that's under $10. So now paying 18% instead of 8%. There's a lot of things that you have to take into account, no matter what size company you are.
You were explaining to me, and I forget the exact details. They'll come right off the top of your head, but you were saying something with Walmart with the pricing or something. I don't know if you had to reduce it a little bit or raise it a little bit. Is that what Mike was talking about earlier? If you had a higher price to get free shipping?
Or
higher price, and then the lower price to go under the 15%. Only you charge 8%.
So you pay less commission on something to Walmart.
Well, let's put it this way. Okay, if Walmart has free delivery with $35,
correct.
Okay, and you price your item at $34.99, they don't get free shipping when they buy it.
Exactly.
So if you up it a penny, they get free shipping. Okay, so you get paid more, and they have to pay less. So you both make out.
Right.
So why not raise it $3? So they're still going to save $2, and you're going to make $3 more for letting them save $2.
Right.
The key to negotiating with any kind of postal service is, if I can save you $3, will you make me be able to buy this for $2 less?
Right. And because of the convenience factor, both Walmart now and Amazon, forever with the free, quote unquote, free shipping, $140 free shipping. People are using them because they get, next day or 2-day delivery, quote unquote, free shipping. So they kind of expect that with eBay sellers. So I know some people don't offer free shipping, but that's something you have to consider too, right?
I think eBay needs to stop trying to be Amazon and go back to being eBay.
But I'm saying, as a consumer, when they're searching for something, let's just say it's $20 with free shipping, as opposed to like $10 and $10 shipping. You know what I'm saying? People are looking sometimes for that free shipping. Now I have a friend who says, "Wow, that's not me. I punch in the cheapest with shipping plus cost of goods." Okay, well, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are looking for free shipping.
Yeah, I don't think on eBay that's a big tie up as far as sales are concerned. If you offer shipping, I mean, you do free shipping or you charge for shipping.
Right.
I think overall, it's a tough call on there, because no matter what, you're paying fees on all of it, regardless whether you go.
Regardless, like I said, that's why I'm going to bring that up about the shipping
factor that you got to keep in mind, so that if you're not charging shipping, you can't keep that back in a return. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, for example, it costs you $11 to ship it out. You charge $11, and you're getting one of these bogus returns, which I want to talk about real quick, because I was talking about it, and he's never seen it, and I've never seen it before. And since Tommy's here, maybe he's seen it, but I've never seen it.
Okay.
No. There's no reason to do that.
Okay. Well, you're the VIP here.
So, where was I? Shit. Oh, so when you have a return, you have the option to keep that shipping back, that original shipping cost. But if you do free shipping, you don't have that option anymore. So that's kind of like a play your own game type
That's
thing.
true. That's true.
If you take a lot of returns, it's something to really consider. But I've gone away from free shipping on eBay altogether for the most part. I think maybe a couple items, depending on the comps on it, I might put up free shipping. But for the most part, even my media that I'm putting up now is all $3.50 shipping. So,
right.
Just real quick, and Tommy, if you're here, just listen to me real quick. Tell me yes or no if you ever seen this, or anybody else in the chat. I know Randy's answer because I already spoke to him about it. So last week I sold a vintage stereo, okay, and I did a video on the stereo. I did a whole video of it playing, all the defects in it, because it was pretty bad cosmetically, but worked fine. So ship it out, get it. Today I find out somebody put a case in, wants to return an item. Well, it's that stereo, okay, and her excuse was just didn't like it. And then her message was, I didn't know I had to put an antenna on this thing. Well,
okay. How is that your fault?
It's from the 1970s. They all need antennas. So when I got the thing, I looked at the case. I looked, and it gave me the option, just as usual, accept return, right? Offer a partial refund, give a full refund, or deny the claim, and we'll close the case right now, is what it said. At the top of the email, it said, you can deny this return if you want to. That's up to you. So I've never seen that on a return. Now, I don't get a ton of returns, but I do. Everybody gets returns. If you say you don't, then you're lying, basically. But I don't get a ton. I get enough, but just not a super ton. So I've never seen this option before where it said to deny the return. And Randy's already said he's never seen that before. Tommy, have you ever seen that before? Anybody else in the chat that had a return recently? Is this something that I just wasn't entitled to prior, or is it something new that eBay's rolling out?
Tommy says that's a category thing. I'm not.
Okay, so sure. My electronics is within that category. Is that what you think that's what it is? I'll have to look further into it because it just happened yesterday. I denied the return and moved forward with it because I don't have any dings on my account. So if it did happen to backfire on me, because I have a feeling I'm going to see a credit card charge back.
Yeah, they don't get the money back from wherever they're going to charge back the credit card. Yeah.
So, but I think eBay will stand behind the fact that you tried to return it first and realize that this is a fake credit card. Okay, so this might be, like you said, a category thing, and vintage electronics might fall under that.
Tommy says doesn't have his first shoes. Yeah.
Vintage electronics. So, I had in the listing as is. It needs to be refurbished, the whole 9 yards, because it was pretty beat up, but it did work. And I sold it at the right price. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't asking top dollar for it. I lowered the price significantly compared to a really good condition working stereo. But like I said, I've never seen that option in my returns, and I've had returns on some of my vintage electronics before, and I never saw that option. So
that's probably something new that they've instituted, I guess.
I don't know. Like I said, Tommy's saying it's a.
He said it's a category thing, right? But you said you'd never seen that before in your vintage electronics.
No, I've never seen that before. So I'll play it out. I'll see how it goes.
Could it maybe something that they added during the spring summer update or fall summer update or
yeah. So
he said it's something about car parts. Car parts before I never understood. It makes sense now. I was just starting out back then. Okay. So maybe it is a category thing, but it could have been something that was instituted in spring seller update or the fall seller update possibly too.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
I'll keep you posted on if I get any feedback or repercussions from it. And one more update for Randy. Randy, we were talking about it today. 98.6 I'm at. I was at 95. So I'm actually going in the right direction.
Well, at least that's good.
Getting closer back to that.
Is that having to do with reselling or temperature? Okay.
This happens to do with reselling.
Reselling, yeah, okay.
Something that we've been fighting for
Gotcha.
fighting with for a couple of weeks now.
Okay, are there any other shipping tips? I have one other thing I was going to cover. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this, to reasonable time for you guys. Appreciate you joining me tonight. Don't forget that the thumbs up before I forget to ask you guys to hit it before we're going away out. Anything else, tips you have for shipping? Randy or Mike?
The only thing I can say is if you're not used to selling large items and you buy a large item,
right,
before you list it, find a box for it. The last thing you want to do is sell a large item and not have a box to put it in.
Plus, that way you can figure out the shipping too, as opposed to trying to figure it out after the fact and then end up sticking to yourself.
Yeah, well,
yeah, I usually go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead, Mike.
I thought Randy was going. Randy, go.
Okay, yeah. I usually really consider how I'm going to ship it before I even buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If I can't figure out how I'm going to ship it when I'm looking at it, I'm probably going to let it go and pass on the item. I pretty much know how I'm going to ship it, because how you're going to ship it has to do with the overall cost of the item. If you buy an item and it's going to cost you a fortune to ship it, you may not want to buy it to sell it, because your price could go up exponentially.
That's fair.
And then without even getting a return.
It's always important to understand your shipment. I've always felt like I had a good feel for what it would cost to ship certain things. I used to go by and it's kind of held true for the most part for me. East Coast is $1 per pound, over 20 pounds.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, so you used to, but then with all the different price increases and pulsing pricing.
West Coast will be like $1.30-ish. So, and that's usually pretty accurate. But don't quote me on that one.
Don't quote you on that. Well, back in the day it worked, but the formula probably doesn't work today with all the.
Yeah,
all
I'm actually considering getting rid of all my free shipping as well. You know what? It's really too much work every time postage rates go up.
Yeah,
and especially on first class, because you got at least 5 different rates, okay, that you have to deal with. 1 to 4 ounces, 4 to 8 ounce, or 5 to 8 ounces, 9 to 12, and 13 to 16.
Yeah, once you go over that little bit of detail, it's something that you kind of enlightened me a little bit. It didn't sink in right away.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, if you're going to ship it to your own state, or you're going to ship it
like I use, like I tell people, I use Beverly Hills 90210 from the TV show. So I just figure and I do like flat rate shipping if I'm charging shipping. I'll say, okay, the ship from New Jersey to California is going to cost me X amount of dollars, and I want to pad in the cost of my my fees and my cost of my shipping, and then I use that. Once you get to tell the people you had like a kind of like a for different.
What if you get an order from one of those outlying islands where it's
I don't offer that.
Where it's not zone 8, now it's zone 9.
I don't offer that. I don't offer any islands. I don't offer Alaska. I don't offer Hawaii. I don't offer APOs.
Even higher than flat rate priority.
I don't offer any of that stuff. I probably should. I mean, to be a good person, but I don't.
Yeah,
Continental U.S. period. That's just me.
So it's
probably foolish, but
every time it goes up, you have to consider the fact that, one, it's going up, but also that all your platforms add fees to that. So it didn't go up $1; it went up $1.30.
Lisa just shipped to Guam. There you go.
Okay, so every time you got to add that in, and every time you don't add that in, year after year, your profits go down and down and down until basically you're no longer a seller.
Right.
It's not a charity; it's a business. Yeah. You don't do your customers a favor when you help them put you out of business.
True.
I have a guy I've been buying particular items from for the last, I would say 42 years. And I walked in one day and I said, I noticed your price went up this year. And he was just about ready to justify it. I said, well, I'm actually glad your prices went up. But I'd rather have your prices go up and have you maintain the quality that you have over the last 40 years that I've been coming here than have you cheapen your product just to maintain. You know, when I want something and I like something, I like to be the same quality that I'm paying for.
Right.
And that's what kept me going there for 42 years.
Right.
Now, Adam, when you do your eBay, do you use business policies for your shipping, or you just do it as you go?
I have a general business policy, but to be perfectly honest, and that's on me, I haven't updated in like 2 years.
I use business policies.
Right.
And for me,
that's a good tip for me to go back and review my business policies. That's a great tip.
Well, do you have shipping business policies set up? Obviously not, I would say.
No.
So the easiest way to do that is like I do like £1, so I have a flat rate for anything under a pound.
Right.
But I also have that set up to use pirate ship, so that at under £1, I don't do their half-pound rates. It's under £1 only.
Right.
And I think, what is it, $12.99 to Canada and $14 or $15.99 to the rest of the world.
Simple export rate, yeah. I don't use it, but
part about it is, like Randy was talking about it, when they hike up the rates, you just go in and change your business policy to whatever rate you want to set to, and then you're off and running again. It updates all your listings and you're done. So business policies I've had them set up since I started, and I have I have like I think 7 total for all my shipping, and then anything over and above my highest shipping rate, I just use my USPS ground and go in and customize the rate to whatever item I'm shipping out that's going to cost more than $34.95. So easiest way to go about it, in my opinion.
I'll have to actually. I'm thinking about what you're saying. I have to rewatch this and see exactly how I should do that. Okay.
You want me to show you one of them? I can show you one of them.
Yeah, if you want to, sure.
Share screen.
Lisa and Tom, you're saying that the same as California as the Guam or the Puerto Rico. I wasn't. I know that a priority is, but I wasn't aware of that on first class. I thought it was based on zone and distance and weight.
I'll show you one that's repetitive. Okay, so basically it's the same setup over and over and over.
Okay.
So like I'll just do my overseas one, right? So in here, like for example, I want to come in here and change this anyway because $4.99 is not cutting it anymore. Rates are actually gone higher, so we're going to change that to $5.49 to kind of equal out the playing field. Let's say everything I have is 1 day business handling, okay, and then you can set your Canada to your pirate ship rates, which I think that's right. I have to double check. And then worldwide, you set it to the other pirate ship rate at $15.99. Okay, and then exclude whatever you want to exclude. Don't forget to exclude Mr. Germany there, unless you have the license to sell there. And basically, once you're done, you save this. Like I said, it will change all my first class listings to $5.49 from $4.99. So once I save that, everything updates, and then it will help with sales for the most part because it's much cheaper under £4 to go pirate ship than it is anything with eBay.
Pirate ship with what service?
Pirate ship, simple export rate.
Okay, simple export. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know, Tommy. I just those have been there for a while. I think Canada might be $12.99 now. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that's what I was just showing earlier. I'm assuming they just updated it recently. That's what I was showing you guys earlier. Was from their.
Well, I know the $15.99 is correct because I just shipped something
to
Australia. So, but it helps with sales because if somebody overseas sees that, they're not getting banged with GSP charges,
right?
and they're not getting killed by eBay's international delivery because it's much higher there too. I think the same package is going to cost me like $29 to send out to Australia.
Right. Here's a nice tip from Lisa. She says pirate ship rate charge saves its PDF in her books on her phone.
Right. And then if you set your business policies, you just got to check every once in a while and update them as needed, you know?
Right.
So, but my focus hasn't been on eBay, so it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, I hear you, and I think that's why I like donor shoes, guys. I don't claim to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. I mean, I'm relatively smart, but like I said, I mean, I'm a smaller reseller, and like I said, I know priority was shipping to Puerto Rico and Alaska, Hawaii, whatever, the same. But I always thought it was always based on distance and weight. With the first class, so they're saying that they can ship it to Alaska, Hawaii, or Puerto Rico for the same price as I can ship from New Jersey to California. I wasn't aware of that.
You can
because I thought that would be a different zone.
Be careful of PO boxes because
PO boxes too, right? That's something I say. No PO boxes, which
you'll
I was stupid too.
So be careful with that.
So you're saying, like Tommy and Lisa are saying, that if I have something that I'm shipping first class, it's the same cost for me to ship it from New Jersey to California as to ship to Puerto Rico or Hawaii or to Alaska?
No, because it's not even equal in the States.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm misunderstanding what they're saying.
Who's saying?
Tommy and Lisa. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's based on zones.
Yeah, it's all.
So that's further zone than for me to ship from California, from New Jersey to California. It's going to be more money correct? To ship to Alaska or Hawaii or.
Okay. All right. This box right here.
Right.
6x4x4.
Right.
I send out at least 100 of these a day.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's an 8-ounce box total. All right. My shipping rates are anywhere from $3.79
right
to $4.55.
Right.
So like Montana, Washington, I think the Dakotas, I'll be up at $4.55. Okay. Florida, Carolinas, I'll be lower, like the $4 rate. You know what I'm saying? So it fluctuates where you send inside the country on first class.
Right.
Now, I don't know if Shopify does this, Mike. I know that ShipStation does. It tells me when an address is questionable.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah, eBay does not do that, unfortunately. Yeah. So you may be shipping to a bad address and get packages back because that bad address is incorrect.
Right.
I mean, the way I handle it, if I get a thing that says that it's not a valid address, I email the customer and I give them 8 hours to respond. If they do not respond in 8 hours, I void their order.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have to pay for it. It might come back. And generally, they expect that I'll ship it back out to them for nothing.
Yeah, it's a tricky game. I get, trying to think. I had a few today, so I would say majority of them are from Walmart side than eBay or Amazon. I do get a couple on eBay. Now, I'm sure you run into the thing where it says that the address is too long, that you only have 40 characters on the line.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So, and this is all preference, okay? I did one last week where I adjusted the address myself to put it on address line 2 because he had a ridiculous thing in there about, what the hell did it say?
Like shipping instructions or something?
Yeah, like leave at front gate.
Oh, really?
Okay. On the mailbox. So,
right,
it was just a ridiculous statement.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just lowered it down to leave at front gate, because the rest of it's all just ridiculous. So
Sure.
I actually have done that. I even put it in to Google and found out if it really is an address and if there's a house there. And I found a lot of fields and I found all kinds of things. I found apartment complexes with no apartment numbers on them. So I basically, on the most part, I cancel them because I just don't have the time to mess with it.
No.
I mean, if you don't know where you live, then there's nothing I can do for you.
So I don't know how to handle Walmart side of that. I ship them. That's the address you gave me. That's where I shipped it to. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist.
Well, they actually have a thing you can go in and click. Bad address. That's not exactly what it says, but
yeah,
that's
I know.
what it means.
That's on Walmart, right?
Yeah, so you don't really get dinged for that.
You don't get dinged for that, okay?
Yeah, I just don't want to use it too many times.
Right. I'm gonna have to research that, guys. Thanks for sharing that. Again, I mean, I don't claim to know everything, and there are some resellers out there that claim to know everything, and we all know that no one knows everything. I was always under, and I could, like I said, I might be mistaken. I'm going to research it. You're all telling me that I can ship, first class to Puerto Rico and Hawaii at the same price I can ship to California.
Yep.
Which I was not aware of that.
I asked eBay.
I assumed I thought it was a different zone. I know we say when you assume, but I thought it was like 7, 8, and 9. It was a different zone than shipping to Alaska or to Hawaii than shipping to California.
I asked eBay why they couldn't limit the amount of characters to what the post office allows. And they said they thought it was a good idea.
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. He says zone 8 and 9 are identical prices for first class. I was not aware of that. Thank you, Tommy. Definitely going to research that. So that I can open up to Puerto Rico and Hawaii.
Okay. Yeah, Puerto Rico's no big deal.
Right.
That's how they are this year.
Yeah.
That can change virtually at any contract.
All right, Tommy's saying, I'm just thank you for sharing this, Tommy. I appreciate that. I'm going to go back and rewatch this too and do some research. So territories are zone 9, California is zone 8. So Tommy, I guess then we're saying territories such as Guam, it would be considered zone 9. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. See that? I learned something new today. Like I said, I always thinking that, I figured I just put in California, and it's like, I knew priority was, if you ship to anywhere in the U.S., it's the same price for priority. But I always thought first class was weight plus distance, and that was a further zone than shipping to California. Okay. One thing, guys, I just want to touch on very, very briefly, and since I'm going to mention that before I forget to ask you guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up. I just want to touch on this, and it probably doesn't affect, I know that doesn't affect the people in the chat this minute, but I'm trying to build a channel, and hopefully there's some newer resellers that are popping in and watching the video. I just wanted to bring this to your attention for those of you that are new to reselling. Like I said, the people that are experienced already know this, but there was a interesting thing I read today about the actually an email from eBay, and it said about the new IRS tax reporting threshold for 2023. Now, Mike and I were discussing this pre-chat, and I thought it was for 2022. And again, I don't want to sound ignorant, but I thought that the reporting requirements were for 2022. But anyway, the letter states, "Dear quote-unquote seller, at eBay, we strive to provide you with the tools and resources you need to succeed on our marketplace. To help support your sustained success, we're reaching out to remind you that the new tax law that will impose burdensome and often unnecessary tax reporting requirements on millions of eBay sellers and sellers on all marketplaces. We're actually advocating on behalf of sellers that Congress amend the law before it goes into effect, and you can help. Starting January 1st, 2023, eBay and other online marketplaces will be required to report sellers who have made more than $600 in annual sales to the IRS. This means millions of eBay sellers, including those who may only sell a few items a year, will have their sales reported and will need to keep careful records of their transactions, even if no taxes are owed. It says, please join us in urging Congress to raise the tax reporting threshold before the new law goes into effect. Go to eBay Main Street to add your voice for a growing community of sellers who are concerned about the new tax law and ask Congress to raise the tax reporting threshold before January 1st, 2023. Together we can make a difference. As always, thank you for selling on eBay." So basically, Mike, I could be mistaken. I thought it was for 2022 as well, but the new threshold is $600. So even the casual seller, might sell a few items, maybe from their parents' estate or something, and they'll be over that limit. So wanted to bring that, guys, to your attention for the newer sellers. I'm sure we're all aware of that. And just the main reason I wanted to bring it up to, guys, is to remind you, keep good records, especially now. I mean, because $600 is a very small amount. If you're doing any kind of reselling, you should be able to hit that $600 threshold. So make sure you keep good records. And like I was discussing with Mike and Randy before, obviously there's cost of goods, there's shipping involved, there's fees involved, there's travel. I mean, like we were saying, Randy, it was like 60 some cents per mile now you can write off on your taxes for travel expenses. So get one of those apps, Mileage IQ or whatever. So when you're outsourcing, like say you're going from yard sale to yard sale or thrift shop or the state sales, record that mileage on your app, and then you can write that up as a business expense. So that offsets your cost of doing business. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys all being here. Just want to remind you that like I said, I have an unpaid YouTube channel, so I have Buy Me Coffee, which you see scrolling. I also have PayPal and Cash App. So again, I want to thank you guys for all being here. I want to thank Mike and Randy for taking their time and coming on and helping educate us. And just as a heads up, guys, next Wednesday is Thanksgiving Eve. So I don't know exactly what I'll be doing. I may be just doing like a reseller hangout, like a listing kind of hangout, or I might do some kind of recorded video where I'll do like a premiere that I'm in the chat. But I'll be doing something, but it may not be a live stream per se. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being here, and I will be back, guys, on Thanksgiving Eve, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thank you, guys. See you next week.